Even as we grieve, we give thanks. I am deeply aware of this great inheritance and of the duties and heavy responsibilities of sovereignty.
In a stunning turn of events, King Charles, once surrounded by decades of royal duty and tradition, now finds himself at the center of a family showdown. What was once a peaceful monarchy has been disrupted by an explosive ultimatum. King Charles has demanded that Camilla return the priceless jewelry once owned by his mother, Queen Elizabeth. This shocking confrontation brings to light the tensions simmering within the royal household. Is King Charles's shocking ultimatum to Camilla a fight for royal control, or is it a deeper personal betrayal? So what do you think? Could this be the breaking point for their relationship? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And please don't forget to subscribe. A grand celebration at Windsor Castle. In June 2025, Windsor Castle transformed into a dazzling spectacle for one of the most anticipated events of the year, Prince William's birthday celebration. The entire castle, already grand and full of history, was decked out in vibrant national flags that fluttered in the breeze, making the occasion feel even more monumental. As guests arrived, the towering gates of the castle opened to welcome a host of distinguished figures from around the world, each one excited to be part of the royal festivities. Inside, the atmosphere was nothing short of magical. The grand hall was bathed in warm golden light, its high ceilings and ornate decor adding to the sense of occasion. The sound of laughter echoed through the room as guests mingled and shared stories, while champagne glasses clinked in joyous celebration. The soft notes of classical music floated through the air, perfectly complementing the elegant environment. Every element of the evening, from the intricate floral arrangements to the grand chandeliers, was designed to set a tone of refinement and elegance. This was not just a birthday party, it was a momentous occasion, a celebration of Prince William's life and his future as the king. Each detail was carefully planned to honor the man who had spent his life preparing for royal duties and responsibilities. It was a fitting tribute to the future monarch, a nod to the years of dedication and service he had given to his country. The evening wasn't just about celebrating William's personal milestones, but also the important role he was to play in the future of the British monarchy. As the night unfolded, there was a deep sense of respect and admiration for Prince William. Guests couldn't help but reflect on his journey so far, the challenges he had faced, the personal growth he had experienced, and the unwavering commitment he had shown to his family, the royal family, and his country. This celebration wasn't just about royal tradition. It was about William's promise to continue carrying out his royal duties with the same grace and dedication his ancestors had shown before him. The evening was filled with special moments, laughter, and toasts that honored Prince William, but it was also a reminder of the weight of the role he was about to assume. The future king's birthday wasn't simply a celebration of his personal life, but also a moment to acknowledge the expectations and responsibilities that lay ahead. As the night drew to a close, guests left with a sense of pride and anticipation for the future of the monarchy, knowing that Prince William was more than ready to embrace the legacy that awaited him. It was a night to remember, marking a significant milestone in the life of the future king. The future king, Prince William, was celebrating his birthday in grand style. But what does this celebration mean for William's children? Will they be held to the strict protocols of the royal family, or will this occasion offer them a taste of freedom? Now let's dive into the royal adventure. The calm after the storm. As the evening banquet drew to a close, the last of the guests began to filter out of Windsor Castle, their voices fading into the distance. The lively chatter, the clinking of glasses, and the soft melodies that had filled the grand hall slowly subsided. What had been a night of celebration and glamour was now transitioning into a quiet, serene night at the palace. Outside, the world carried on at its usual pace, the soft murmur of the evening settling over the castle grounds, but inside, the energy had shifted completely. Within the castle's historic walls, where the grandeur of royal events usually filled every corner, a different kind of activity was taking place. Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, far removed from the pomp and ceremony of the royal banquet, were embarking on an impromptu adventure of their own. No longer dressed in their formal attire, they were now free to roam the corridors of the majestic palace, their laughter echoing through the grand halls like the sound of music. The royal children, filled with youthful energy, dashed through the long corridors of Windsor, each twist and turn bringing them further into the heart of the castle's ancient structure. The echo of their giggles and shouts bounced off the high, vaulted ceilings, a stark contrast to the usual silence of the palace. It was as if the very walls of Windsor Castle came to life, embracing the sounds of these two young royals, enjoying a rare moment of childhood freedom within the historic setting. Their playful chase took them deeper into the castle, past portraits of long-gone kings and queens, through hallways that had witnessed centuries of royal history. In those moments, it was hard to imagine that this place, often associated with the weight of royal tradition and solemn duty, could hold space for such pure, unfiltered joy. The royal children, so often in the spotlight, were now fully immersed in their game of hide-and-seek, unaware of the grand significance of the very walls they ran through. As they continued their playful exploration, their laughter filled the castle with an energy that contrasted with the usual calm of the royal estate. It was a reminder that even in the most majestic of places, life could still be simple, full of laughter, and moments of pure joy. Windsor Castle, known for its history and grandeur, became a playground for the young royals in that fleeting moment, with nothing more important than the game they were playing. For a brief time, the royal duties, the expectations, and the formalities were set aside, leaving only the sound of two young children reveling in their adventure. And as the night continued to fall outside, inside Windsor Castle, the heart of the royal family seemed to beat with a new rhythm, one of innocent joy and unrestrained laughter. Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis were exploring the palace freely, unrestrained due to their father's celebration. But where will their newfound freedom lead them? Could their unrestricted access allow them to stumble upon things they were not meant to see? Let's uncover the shocking details. The hidden discovery. Clarence House, a grand residence often synonymous with royal elegance and tradition, usually exudes a sense of formality and grace. But on this particular day, two young royals were far from the usual air of regal restraint. Charlotte, with her uncontainable curiosity, and her younger brother Louis found themselves caught up in a lively game of hide-and-seek. The mansion, with its many rooms and corridors, was the perfect playground for their youthful adventure. As Charlotte raced through the halls, her eyes sparkled with the thrill of exploration. But unlike most children, her playground was unlike any other, one where history and secrets had been carefully preserved. It was in the midst of her game that Charlotte ventured into a room not often visited by others, the private quarters of King Charles III and Camilla, the royal couple. Their bedroom, an intimate space usually off-limits, was shrouded in quiet mystery. Yet, to Charlotte, it was simply another uncharted territory begging to be explored. As she wandered further into the room, her attention was drawn to something curious. Beneath the regal four-poster bed, nestled in the corner of the polished wooden floor, was a small gap. It was subtle, almost easily overlooked, but Charlotte's inquisitive nature never missed a beat. Her eyes widened with the thrill of discovery as she crouched down to inspect it more closely. With a gentle push and a little effort, Charlotte was able to pry open the gap in the floorboards. There, hidden away, was something that would change the course of her afternoon and perhaps her future. Tucked neatly in the compartment was a small, dark wooden box. It was old, its surface worn with age, but its design still carried a quiet, mysterious elegance. Charlotte's heart raced as she carefully retrieved the box, sensing that what she had found wasn't just an ordinary relic. This wasn't just an old, forgotten object. There was something far more important about it. As Charlotte held the box, a sense of gravity washed over her. Why had it been hidden so carefully in this secret spot? What was inside? Her mind raced with questions, yet no answers came. She couldn't shake the feeling that this discovery wasn't a mere accident. Her instincts told her that this box had a story, one waiting to be uncovered, and it was no coincidence that she had found it. Her mind raced with possibilities as she wondered what could lie inside this mysterious box. Was it a forgotten treasure? Or perhaps a piece of royal history that had been carefully concealed for reasons unknown? Whatever the truth was, Charlotte knew she had stumbled upon something much more than she had bargained for, something that would soon unravel a mystery far deeper than she could have ever imagined. Her game of hide-and-seek had turned into a discovery of a lifetime, one that would spark a new chapter in the royal family's storied past. During an innocent playtime with her brother, Charlotte stumbled upon a compartment that seemed strange to her. But will she choose to examine what's inside, or continue her game? What might she uncover if she opens the compartment out of curiosity? Now let's explore the hidden treasure. A secret royal relic. Charlotte's small hands trembled with excitement as she gently pried open the hidden compartment beneath the floorboards. The room around her, once a quiet haven of royal decorum, seemed to hold its breath as the young princess uncovered a secret that had been buried for years. Nestled in the corner, concealed beneath layers of dust and forgotten history, was a small wooden box. At first glance, it seemed entirely ordinary, a simple, unadorned object that could have easily been overlooked by anyone not paying close attention. But for Charlotte, her curiosity was piqued, and she couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this box than met the eye. Her heart raced as she reached down to lift it. The box, although small and modest in appearance, felt heavy in her hands, as if it held some mysterious weight far beyond its size. She turned it over, searching for any markings or clues about its contents, but there was nothing. The surface was worn, smooth to the touch, like an artifact that had lived through countless years of secrets. Something about it tugged at her instincts, urging her to take it with her, to learn more, to uncover whatever mystery lay hidden inside. Without hesitation, Charlotte slipped the small wooden box into the folds of her skirt, her heart racing with excitement. Every step she took away from the hidden compartment felt like a journey deeper into mystery. She couldn't help but imagine what might be inside the box. Was it a long-lost letter? Perhaps a precious keepsake with royal significance? The possibilities spun in her mind as she hurried down the corridor, her curiosity growing with each passing moment. Whatever it was, Charlotte had the distinct feeling that she had discovered something much more meaningful than just a playful find. This was no ordinary treasure. Blissfully unaware of the storm she was about to set in motion, Charlotte tiptoed down the hallway, her mind racing with possibilities. The box, though seemingly insignificant in the grand scheme of royal life, was the catalyst for a far greater story. What Charlotte didn't know, what no one in the royal family could have predicted, was that this small, innocuous object would soon become the center of a shocking royal mystery, one that would unravel hidden truths, spark royal intrigue, and threaten to shatter the carefully curated image of the monarchy. At that moment, Charlotte had no idea that what seemed like an innocent prize from a childhood game would soon hold the key to a web of secrets, lies, and long-buried scandals. Her discovery, though simple on the surface, would set in motion events that no one could have anticipated, not even the royal family themselves. The box she had tucked away was not just a forgotten relic. It was a piece of the royal puzzle that would soon bring everything into question. Charlotte not only felt the box she found in the compartment, but she also took it with her, unaware of its significance. But will she mention it to someone who knows its true value? And could the box contain something of immense importance in royal history? Now, let's uncover how Princess Charlotte's discovery reignites a long-buried mystery. A royal secret unveiled. The next day, as Charlotte spent time with her grandfather, King Charles III, she casually mentioned her discovery. She spoke lightly, her words filled with the innocent excitement of a child who had simply found an old box hidden beneath the floorboards. At first, it seemed like just another one of those harmless moments that would fade into the background of a typical royal afternoon. But when she pulled out the small wooden box and handed it to King Charles, something shifted. As soon as King Charles laid eyes on the box, his demeanor changed. His gaze darkened, and a look of surprise and confusion flickered across his face. His hands trembled slightly as he turned the box over, and in that moment, Charlotte could feel the change in the air. What had seemed like a simple find, a piece of forgotten history, was now clearly much more significant than she had realized. When King Charles opened the box, the gleam of something exquisite caught the light. It was an emerald ring, its deep green stones sparkling brightly, even after years of neglect. Charlotte's eyes widened in disbelief as she watched her grandfather's face transform once more, this time into one of recognition and awe. This ring wasn't just any piece of jewelry. It was a cherished family heirloom, one that held immense personal and royal significance. The emerald ring had once belonged to his mother, the late Queen Elizabeth II, and had been famously gifted to Princess Diana, his first wife during their marriage. It was a symbol of a time long gone, a piece of royal history wrapped in the delicate fabric of family and memory. But what made this discovery all the more extraordinary was the fact that the ring had disappeared years ago, under the most mysterious of circumstances. For years, the royal family had wondered what had happened to it. Some believed it had been lost during a royal move. Others speculated it had been stolen, but no one had ever been able to uncover the truth behind its sudden disappearance. Now, here it was, reappearing in the most unlikely of places, hidden away beneath the floorboards in King Charles and Camilla's private bedroom. As Charlotte watched her grandfather's reaction, she couldn't help but feel a sense of gravity settle over the room. What had begun as a child's innocent game of hide-and-seek had unearthed something far more important, something that had been lost and perhaps even buried for years. The reappearance of the ring was no small matter. It was the beginning of a deeper mystery, one that would raise questions, stir memories, and perhaps uncover truths that had long been hidden from public view. The once-forgotten emerald ring had not only reconnected a piece of royal history, but had also opened a door to an untold story, one that would soon unravel in ways no one could have imagined. Upon opening the box Charlotte had found, King Charles was certain it contained priceless jewelry, one that his mother had gifted to Charlotte's grandmother, Diana. But why was King Charles so surprised, even though it was discovered in the room he shared with Camilla? Could it mean that only Camilla knew about it? And what is the significance of this jewelry? Let's find out. The Emerald Ring Mystery. This was no ordinary piece of jewelry. The emerald ring held deep significance, symbolizing the close relationship between Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana, two of the most admired and respected women in royal history. The ring was more than just a beautiful gem. It was a lasting token of the bond they shared, representing mutual respect, understanding, and affection. After Diana's tragic death, the ring was mysteriously removed from royal records, and its sudden disappearance sparked a wave of speculation and intrigue among the public. People couldn't help but wonder where it had gone and why it seemed to vanish without a trace. For years, rumors swirled around the missing ring. Some believed it had been lost forever, while others whispered about its possible location, speculating that it might have been hidden away, concealed from public view for reasons yet to be revealed. The royal family, ever protective of its image, never explained, adding to the mystery and fueling even more curiosity about the missing heirloom. Then, just when everyone thought the emerald ring was a lost piece of royal history, it reappeared most unexpectedly. Hidden beneath the floorboards of Clarence House, the very place where King Charles III and Camilla made their home, the ring surfaced like a long-lost secret waiting to be uncovered. The discovery of the ring in such an unusual location immediately raised more questions than answers. Why had it been hidden there? What could its sudden reappearance mean? Was this a simple mistake, or was there something much deeper at play? For King Charles, this wasn't just another case of misplaced royal treasures. It felt like the beginning of something troubling. The sight of the ring, once thought to be gone forever, brought back painful memories of his mother and his late wife. But it also stirred up long-buried feelings of distrust, confusion, and suspicion. The ring's presence under the floorboards couldn't be written off as a coincidence. King Charles was a man deeply familiar with the intricacies of royal life, and he knew that this was more than just a random find. As King Charles stared at the emerald ring, his thoughts swirled with unanswered questions. Why had the ring been hidden all these years? Who had been behind its disappearance, and what had caused it to resurface now, after such a long time? The timing felt too strange to ignore. Could this unexpected return be linked to something deeper? Something the royal family had long tried to keep concealed? To Charles, the ring was no longer just a valuable piece of jewelry. It had transformed into a symbol, a key that could unlock a much larger mystery, one that threatened to unravel the carefully maintained image of the royal family. With every passing moment, the mystery deepened. What started as an innocent discovery now seemed to be the opening chapter of a story filled with secrets, hidden motives, and untold truths that could shake the monarchy to its core. The ring, which symbolizes the bond between King Charles's mother and his first wife, Diana, was found in King Charles's room without his knowledge. But will he confront his current wife about it? And what could it mean if Camilla had kept something so significant hidden from the royal family? Let's unravel the mystery. The inevitable confrontation over the hidden emerald ring. As King Charles sat quietly, holding the emerald ring in his hand, his mind raced with questions. The more he thought about it, the more suspicious he became. Why, after all these years, had the ring reappeared in such an unexpected place? It wasn't just any piece of jewelry, it was an heirloom, a symbol of the bond between his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, and Princess Diana. The significance of the ring was undeniable, and its sudden discovery beneath the floorboards of his and Camilla's private bedroom made King Charles uneasy. The questions kept piling up. Why would something so valuable, something with such deep sentimental meaning, be hidden in their personal space? Was it simply misplaced, or was there something more behind its disappearance all those years ago? The more King Charles thought about it, the more it seemed like this discovery was just one piece of a much larger, unresolved mystery. His anger began to grow. He had spent so much of his life keeping the royal family's affairs dignified and protected, but now he was faced with a mystery that seemed to involve the one person he trusted most, his wife, Camilla. Why would she be involved in something like this? Was there something she had been hiding all along? His frustration mounted as the pieces of the puzzle refused to fit together. Without wasting any more time, King Charles confronted Camilla. He needed answers, and he needed them now. He asked her directly about the ring, about why it had been hidden beneath the floorboards in their bedroom. But her response was not what he had expected. Instead of offering a clear explanation, Camilla's answer was evasive. She deflected his questions, her tone calm but unconvincing, as if she was trying to brush off the importance of the situation. The more Camilla avoided giving a straight answer, the more suspicious King Charles became. Her silence spoke volumes, and it only deepened the mystery surrounding the ring's sudden reappearance. Every word she said seemed to raise more questions than it answered. Why was she so reluctant to speak openly about it? Was there something she was hiding? Something she didn't want King Charles to know? As the conversation progressed, King Charles's resolve strengthened. He couldn't just let this go. The more he thought about it, the more he realized that this ring wasn't just a simple lost heirloom. It was the key to uncovering something much bigger, something that could unravel secrets from the past that the royal family had tried to keep buried. Determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, King Charles knew that he had to keep pushing for the truth. His anger was no longer just about the ring. It was about the trust that had been broken and the unanswered questions that now hung heavy in the air. The game of silence and deflection couldn't continue. King Charles was more committed than ever to uncovering the truth behind the ring's disappearance and its unexpected return. King Charles confronted Camilla about the missing ring that was found in her possession, but she couldn't offer a convincing explanation. Could Camilla be deliberately hiding this treasured ring? And what does it mean to manipulate history by keeping a piece of jewelry of such significance? Now, let's dive into Camilla's hidden agenda. The royal deception. As King Charles examined the emerald ring, a chilling realization began to settle in. He quickly understood that this was no simple case of a missing heirloom. It was just the tip of the iceberg. His suspicions, which had been growing since the discovery, began to take shape. This wasn't merely about a forgotten piece of jewelry. It was part of something far more elaborate. Something much darker was unfolding before his eyes. It seemed as though the reappearance of the ring was the first step in a calculated plan to manipulate the royal legacy itself. The more King Charles thought about it, the clearer it became. Someone had been trying to alter the narrative of the royal family's history, to shift public perception, and to elevate Camilla's place within that narrative. The hidden box, once thought to be a child's playful discovery, was in fact a crucial part of this larger scheme. What started as an innocent moment of curiosity had quickly escalated into something much more significant. The royal family's history, which had been carefully guarded and passed down through generations, was now under threat. King Charles's suspicions centered on Camilla. He couldn't shake the feeling that she had been involved in this plot all along. As his mind raced, he began to piece together the clues, the hidden ring, the concealed box, and now the increasing silence from Camilla whenever he questioned her. It was all pointing in the same direction. Camilla, whether intentionally or not, seemed to be playing a pivotal role in reshaping the royal legacy, and King Charles wasn't about to let it happen without a fight. Determined to uncover the truth, King Charles realized the stakes had grown far higher than he had initially anticipated. This wasn't just about finding a missing ring. It was about protecting the integrity of the royal family. It was about ensuring that the history of the monarchy, which had been built on the sacrifices, struggles, and triumphs of countless generations, wasn't twisted or manipulated to suit personal agendas. The more King Charles dug into the mystery, the more he uncovered. What had begun as an investigation into a missing piece of jewelry was now unraveling into a much larger and more dangerous web of deception. Each discovery led to more questions, and each question led him deeper into a realm of royal secrets he hadn't anticipated. His determination grew stronger with each passing day. This wasn't just about preserving a piece of royal history, it was about preserving the truth. King Charles knew that the cost of exposing this truth could be immense. The monarchy, his family's legacy, and even his relationship with Camilla were all at risk. But the truth had to come to light, no matter the consequences. What started as a small discovery now threatened to expose a carefully constructed plan to change the course of royal history forever. King Charles was ready to fight for the truth, and nothing would stop him. Beyond King Charles's efforts to uncover the mystery behind the jewelry recently found, what part of Diana's history, as the mother of his children, is tied to it? Could King Charles be safeguarding this history to protect the image of the monarchy and preserve a noble lineage for Diana's son, William, who is destined to be the future king? Let's uncover the details. A beacon of compassion and commitment. As the royal family grapples with the challenges of modern life, it's impossible to ignore the powerful and lasting legacy left by Princess Diana. Throughout her life, Diana captured the hearts of millions, and even today, her influence endures. The Queen herself once described Diana as an exceptional and gifted human being, a woman whose smile, laughter, and unwavering warmth touched everyone she met. No matter what struggles or hardships Diana faced, she never lost the ability to uplift others with her kindness and energy. Her resilience, even in the toughest times, made her a beloved figure both within the royal family and among the public. What set Diana apart wasn't just her beauty or royal title, it was her genuine spirit. She inspired people with her actions, always putting others first and working tirelessly to make a difference in their lives. The Queen held a deep admiration for Diana, especially for her devotion to her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Despite the turmoil of public life, Diana's commitment to her children remained steadfast, and her bond with them became a central part of her legacy. But beyond her role as a mother, Diana's philanthropic efforts would become one of the most defining aspects of her life. She dedicated herself to helping the sick and the needy, often visiting hospitals and working with individuals who were suffering from the most devastating conditions. Her work was deeply personal. Diana didn't just donate money or attend charity events. She engaged with people on a level that was rarely seen from someone in her position. She was genuinely involved, reaching out with a sincerity that made her stand out as not only a royal figure, but also as a compassionate human being who made a real, tangible difference in the lives of others. Diana found immense personal fulfillment in her charity work, and it became a driving force in her life. She used her platform to shine a spotlight on causes that had long been overlooked. She raised awareness for HIV and AIDS patients, children's hospitals, homelessness, and landmine victims, becoming a global icon for compassion and activism. Her legacy as a humanitarian continues to inspire people around the world, motivating others to give back and make the world a better place. Her actions showed that true royalty was not about wealth or power, but about how you used your influence to help others. Yet Diana's legacy wasn't just about her public achievements. Her personal connections with the people she helped, and most importantly, with her children, gave her work an emotional depth that still resonates today. Her genuine care for others, especially her sons, created an emotional foundation that will continue to impact the royal family for generations to come. Diana's warmth, strength, and compassion remain etched in the hearts of many, and her legacy lives on in the lives she touched and the causes she championed. She truly has a legacy that is not only worth preserving for future generations, but could also serve as a symbol of prestige for her children. But how will King Charles handle anyone who attempts to manipulate this admirable legacy? Now let's explore the future of the royal legacy. The Royal Reckoning. King Charles's calm, controlled anger finally reached its breaking point as he stood face to face with Camilla. His mind was racing, and the weight of the moment hung heavy in the air. He knew deep down that the time had come to expose the truth, no matter the personal cost. The discovery of the emerald ring was no longer just about a piece of jewelry. It represented something much bigger, the royal family's legacy, which had been carefully guarded for generations. And now, it was being tainted, threatened by Camilla's actions. For years, King Charles had tried to maintain a sense of order within the royal family, protecting its image, its history, and its legacy. But this ring, once a symbol of his mother's bond with Diana, had been concealed and hidden for reasons that were anything but innocent. Camilla's involvement in this deception had shattered that legacy, casting a shadow over everything the royal family stood for. It wasn't just about the ring anymore. It was about the royal family's integrity and the role they were supposed to play in shaping history. As King Charles faced Camilla, he felt a surge of determination. He couldn't let this go on any longer. The truth, no matter how painful, had to be revealed. There was no more room for silence, no more space for deflection. The secrecy had lasted long enough, and it was time for the truth to come out. For the first time in years, King Charles felt the weight of the royal responsibility pressed down on him with a new intensity. The royal family had survived scandals, drama, and loss, but this betrayal, this manipulation of their history, was something he couldn't ignore. In the tense confrontation, King Charles made it abundantly clear that the truth could no longer be concealed. He looked Camilla in the eye, his voice steady but resolute, as he told her that her actions couldn't be hidden away any longer. The royal family's legacy, their reputation, and the history they carried on their shoulders were too important to be manipulated for personal gain. This wasn't just a matter of royal jewelry. It was about something much larger, something that affected the very foundation of their role in society. King Charles's anger wasn't just about the emerald ring, it was about what it represented, the manipulation, the secrets, and the false narrative being crafted at the expense of everything the royal family had worked to protect. He knew the consequences of revealing the truth were inevitable. No matter how much Camilla tried to defend her actions, the truth would come out. And once it did, the damage would be done. The battle for the royal legacy was far from over. It had just begun. The coming weeks, months, and possibly even years would reveal much more than just a misplaced heirloom. The royal family's future and the integrity of their legacy now hung in the balance. The truth had been set in motion, and King Charles was ready to face whatever came next, no matter the personal toll. The king is determined to protect the legacy of both his mother and the mother of his children, no matter who tries to manipulate it. But what could his final decision be? Will he set boundaries between himself, the honor of the monarchy, and his wife? Let's uncover the daring details. The final decision. As the investigation into the missing royal heirlooms grew more intense, King Charles reached a breaking point. The evidence was clear, and the situation had escalated beyond just a family disagreement. With the weight of the royal legacy hanging in the balance, King Charles made a bold and resolute decision. It was time to confront Camilla once again. This wasn't just about the missing items anymore. This was about something much deeper: the manipulation of royal history and the potential alteration of the legacy of two of the most important women in royal history, Diana and Queen Elizabeth II. King Charles knew that this confrontation wouldn't be easy. The emotions running through him were a mix of betrayal, anger, and a deep sense of duty to protect the royal family's reputation. But what troubled him the most was the idea that Camilla, his own wife, had played a role in rewriting the past for her own benefit. The legacy of Diana, A woman who had touched so many lives with her compassion and devotion couldn't be manipulated or erased for anyone's personal gain, not even his wife's. With everything on the line, King Charles wasted no time in sitting down with Camilla to have a candid conversation. He laid everything bare, accusing her of trying to change royal history, of distorting the truth to suit her desires, and of disregarding the importance of the royal family's long-standing traditions and values. This wasn't just about a few misplaced heirlooms. It was about the integrity of the royal family itself. The tension in the room was palpable. The confrontation was intense, charged with years of underlying resentment and hurt. Camilla, caught off guard by the bluntness of King Charles's accusations, tried to deflect, but King Charles wasn't having it. He had made up his mind. He couldn't let this slide. The royal family's reputation, carefully curated over generations, was too valuable to be tampered with. If he had to expose uncomfortable truths and face personal turmoil, he would do so, because the future of the monarchy depended on it. For King Charles, this wasn't just a matter of family drama or scandal. It was about the legacy of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, and the tragic yet iconic legacy of Princess Diana. He had a responsibility to preserve their memory and to ensure that their legacies remained intact, untarnished by any attempt to rewrite history. With the truth now firmly in his hands, King Charles knew he had to act. He couldn't allow the royal family to be dragged into a web of lies and manipulation. The stakes were incredibly high. This wasn't just about preserving a piece of jewelry, it was about safeguarding the very fabric of the royal family's identity and the role they played in the nation's history. King Charles was prepared to take whatever steps were necessary, even if it meant confronting uncomfortable truths or facing backlash. His determination was clear. The royal legacy would remain intact, no matter the personal cost. The future of the monarchy depended on his ability to stand firm and ensure that the truth prevailed, no matter the consequences. So, what do you think of King Charles's ultimatum? Is this a necessary move to protect the monarchy's legacy? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.